We're going to the next movie. Our weight loss method is effective because it properly prepares you for a new long-term or even lifelong lifestyle. A lifestyle that will allow you to gain metabolic flexibility and live beautifully with a big smile on your face. You can't lose weight healthily if you don't know what's behind the weight gain.
U podstaw tycia.
The process of preparing for the implementation of our weight loss method is very important. It is necessary to supplement the deficiencies, and one of the most common is potassium deficiency. This is an extremely important element in the weight loss process. When I hear potassium, I get chills. It is such an essential electrolyte for the body. Imagine that potassium is essential for the functioning of every cell in the human body. You remember from our studies sodium-potassium pumps that regulate the flow of electrical charges in cells. These sodium-potassium pumps regulate the flow of impulses in nerve tissues and muscles. Potassium is necessary for the production of energy in the form of ATP.
Potas też jest niezbędny do wytwarzania dosłownie energii w postaci ATP w mitochondriach. Jeżeli pamiętasz z biologii i uważałeś
This happens in the mitochondria.
to wiesz, że mitochondria to są
You may remember mitochondria from biology. These are energy centers.
a do tego niezbędny jest potas.
Mitochondria take substrates and create energy from them, and for this process, potassium is needed. Therefore, potassium deficiency causes very characteristic symptoms. But with a deficiency of this element, there are also less characteristic ailments. We'll talk about them in a moment. Potassium is your topic. I am interested in when this potassium should be supplemented and how to do it. Can you also suggest what doses of potassium to use? This is a great question. When to supplement potassium? Lab standards come to mind immediately. In the lab, you can do a test that measures the level of potassium in your blood serum. The norm is from 3.5 to 5.5. We keep repeating that the level of potassium in the blood serum is only 5% of all potassium in the body. Some say it's only 2%. And where is the rest of the potassium? Inside the cells of the body. There are specialized tests that measure the level of potassium inside the cells. But they are not made in Poland. I haven't heard of it. In addition, these tests are very expensive. Therefore, you should watch your body for symptoms that are characteristic of potassium deficiency. When to supplement potassium? Absolutely when the level of potassium in the blood serum is low. Because this means that you probably do not have this potassium anywhere in the amount you need. You say it's a good idea to do a serum potassium test.
Że to jest tylko ten potas w surowicy, żeby czasami się nie pocieszać dobrym poziomem potasu. Wychodzi mi 4. Okej, no ja bym tutaj... Oczywiście poszukiwałbym...
I get result 4. What should I do?
Ja zawsze powtarzam swoim pacjentom, że...
In that situation, I would look for signs of a potassium deficiency.
I spokój o twoje zdrowie
I always tell my patients that a potassium level above 4 gives peace of mind for metabolic health, and preferably around 4.5.
Specjalizację z kardiologii,
I remember when I was still specializing in cardiology. I did a specialization for 2 years, and then I found out that I don't need it to be happy. I quit my specialization with a bang. I probably did it as the only doctor in Poland, and now I'm happy. One cool thing was said in the cardiology major. Cardiac potassium level is 4.5. In fact, this is confirmed in the scientific literature. That's why I aim for a potassium level of 4.5 in my patients. sometimes more. Why? Because such a level of potassium ensures that there is an appropriate amount of this element in the striated muscles and in the heart muscle. Such a level of potassium has an antiarrhythmic effect. You can be sure that there will be no cardiac arrhythmias.
Który często pojawia się u pacjentów.
There is one more interesting thing. People with potassium deficiency very often have an increased desire for sweet snacks. Why? Why is sweet craving related to potassium? This is a classic symptom of potassium deficiency. Potassium is essential for the formation of glycogen in the liver. This is a sugar reserve in case of low glucose levels. Glycogen is not formed with low potassium levels. The body receives a signal that there is no glucose supply. It needs to be delivered quickly. This manifests itself in an increased appetite for sweet snacks.
Mogę tworzyć zapasów glukozy, więc zrób wszystko, żeby dać temu człowieczkowi, czyli organizmowi sygnał, żeby tą glukozę dostarczał na bieżąco. I to się objawia w postaci właśnie takiego wilczego apetytu na słodkie. Organizm mówi, dawaj mi słodkie, bo ja tego słodkiego nie mam w zapasie. Zobaczcie, jakie to jest niesamowite.
This is amazing. If we didn't know human physiology and all these mechanisms, we could shout that we need to join the 90-day challenge. We could say that you have to jump to loud music and listen to us scream, and then you will lose weight. But this is just a simple method to lose weight and gain it twice as much. When you know all these mechanisms, you realize how to lose weight in a healthy way.
Uświadomić, jak ważne są te kropeczki, które muszą się połączyć po to, żebyś schudła, po to, żebyś wyzdrowiała, po to, żebyś wyzdrowiał.
We translate it for you so you can lose weight and get well, not for 90 days, but for life. I got angry. It could also be a potassium deficiency. You should complete it.
To by było, żebyś go po prostu zaczął uzupełniać.
Let's move on to the next symptoms of potassium deficiency.
Jakim jest też wilczy apetyt albo łaknienie słodyczy. Kolejnym takim objawem jest po prostu
It is a general malaise and a decrease in muscle strength.
obniżenie siły w mięśniach.
Patients often say that 2 days ago they could climb the stairs without any problems,
W gabinecie mówią, że
and now they
jeszcze
can't.
2 dni temu, jeszcze tydzień temu bez problemu wchodziłem na to drugie piętro, a teraz tak jakby nogi mi odmawiały posłuszeństwa. Nie mam siły.
They feel that they have no strength in their legs. Patients say that they do not have the strength to walk in the mountains.
Problemu, no bo potas niezbędny
And a
elektrolit.
year ago they were walking in the mountains without any problems.
Warunkuje to funkcjonowanie, bez niego
Potassium is responsible for the functioning of the muscles.
nie funkcjonują odpowiednio.
Without this element, the muscles do not function properly and are tired. Now tell us what you do when you find yourself deficient in
W
potassium.
takim razie stwierdziłeś niedobór potasu
Are you an advocate of supplementing potassium naturally in the form of food?
w postaci jedzonka, czy czasami zdarza się, że
Or maybe you prescribe potassium supplements to your patients?
produktem z potasem. Oczywiście, że
I am for a rational approach.
z racjonalnym podejściem, bo z jednej strony oczywiście, że zdaję sobie sprawę, że
Natural electrolyte replenishment is best.
że stosując
When you follow our weight loss method or low carb style, you won't be short of potassium.
prawdziwe jedzonko, nie zabraknie nam tego potasu.
But sometimes you need to supplement potassium at the very beginning of a lifestyle change.
Doładować tego potasu. Zdecydowanie, zwłaszcza osoby z nadciśnieniem tętniczym.
This mainly affects people with high blood pressure who take diuretics.
Hydrochlorotiazyt albo
In these people, potassium is washed out by medications.
domyślą się, o co chodzi. No to te osoby, nawet jeżeli mają dużo potasu w jedzeniu, no to ten potas jest
This is a side effect of this drug, not a low carb lifestyle.
uboczny leku, a nie stylu niskowęglowodanowego, żebyście zwrócili na to uwagę.
You need to pay special attention to this.
Muszą albo zmienić ten lek na
In such
inny,
people, it is necessary to change the drug or supplement potassium by artificial means.
ograniczenia ilości jedzenia, które można dostarczyć.
Because there are certain limitations that make it difficult to supplement potassium naturally.
Sprawę z tego, że pewne mity, które
There are still some myths that are perpetuated by ignorant nutritionists, trainers, and producers of processed food.
Dietetyków niedouczonych, jakichś trenerów niedouczonych i tak dalej, albo tych, którzy sprzedają nam te batoniki. No, jeżeli chcesz uzupełniać potest bananem, w którym jest około, nie wiem,
There are about 200 to 300 milligrams of potassium in a banana.
żeby dostarczyć dzienne zapotrzebowanie.
If you want to supplement potassium by eating bananas,
no to byś musiała tych bananów zjeść około 12.
you must eat 12 or 13 pieces.
Jednocześnie licząc się z tym, że w tym bananie jest
Because the daily requirement for potassium is 4,700 milligrams.
no ale przecież
At the same time, remember that there is sugar in a banana that can lead you to type 2 diabetes.
Wysokowęglowodanowo.
To prawda.
In addition, high carbohydrate food interferes with the absorption of potassium.
Potrzebujesz więcej potasu? Tak, dlatego też widzimy.
You need more potassium if you eat high carbohydrate foods. That's true. That's why we see such profound potassium deficiencies in people with type 2 diabetes and insulin resistance.
Rzeczywiście osoby chore, głównie
People with metabolic disease need extra potassium.
ewidentnie potrzebują dodatkowo potasu, jeszcze biorąc leki moczopędne.
Tak.
Ale osoba
What about metabolically healthy people?
Ja mam takie podejście, że to
My approach is to provide potassium extra when I exercise more.
że ćwiczę,
I am more physically active, sweat more, and lose more electrolytes.
i pocę się bardziej, więc tracę więcej elektrolitów, to czasami ja dodatkowo
I supplement potassium in the form of pure products, for example, for 2 weeks.
dobrej jakości produktów czystych przez na przykład 2 tygodnie czasu.
Ja tak samo bardzo często zalecam swoim pacjentom
I also very often recommend my patients to supplement potassium in an artificial way.
zapotrzebowanie. Bardzo
But you have to take into account the needs of the body.
zapotrzebowanie wzrasta do około 6
In physically active people, the demand for potassium increases to 6,000 milligrams.
Nie da się, to jest jedyny taki elektrolit.
That's 6 grams. Potassium is the only electrolyte that is needed in such large amounts.
No nie da się w warzywach dostarczyć tyle potasu bardzo
It is
często.
impossible to provide this amount of potassium with
W
vegetables.
takiej jednej kapsułce często tych miligramów jest 90.
It's also important to realize that one capsule often contains only 90 or 100 milligrams of potassium.
No to tych kapsułek
Some tablets have 300 milligrams of potassium.
to jest nic, to nie uzupełni tego potasu.
When using diuretics, one capsule does nothing.
3,5 grama potasu.
You cannot replenish potassium in this way.
Bo u niektórych nawet 4 gramy potasu.
I often recommend 3.5 grams of potassium in divided doses to my patients.
Jedna taka dygresja
For some
odnośnie
patients,
też,
I recommend 4 grams of potassium in divided doses.
suplementami. Jeżeli masz przed sobą osobę zestresowaną,
Another important thing, if you are stressed by a child's illness, divorce, financial problems,
w trakcie rozwodu, bo choroba dziecka, bo problemy finansowe, to musisz wiedzieć, że twój organizm
your body uses very large amounts of potassium.
potasu do radzenia sobie z tym stresem.
This element is used to cope with a stressful situation.
Powoduje, że ten potas, nawet uzupełniając w dużych ilościach, na bieżąco
In such
jest
cases,
wzywany
even high doses of potassium are not able to replenish the deficiencies.
pod żadnym względem, wtedy dopiero trzeba
You have to eliminate the stress first.
ten stres, niestety dowolne sposoby i zacząć uzupełniać potas naturalnie.
A przy okazji walnijcie w kciuka, jeżeli
Hit the
uważacie,
thumb if you think what we say makes sense.
sztuczne algorytmy przestaną nas stresować i będą podsyłać ten film.
Thanks to this, soulless algorithms will stop stressing us and send this video further.
Za kolejny film.
Thank you very
To
much.
jest taki